Alright, well, again, a little rust protectant, a rust converter. Good stuff. I've used it before. I'm going to spray everything in here that looks rusty. If it doesn't look rusty, I'm going to spray anyways. We did one of our hoses in a little purple braid here. That was just sort of re-establishing the fact that I don't like doing that job. I'll spray some more of this stuff around, probably some underneath and all the rest of it, and try to get out of here, which may require airlift, and go put the head together. We are making progress. Alright, told you I was going to get to work on the head. Just turned out to be a day or two later, but I'm working on it. So what I've done here is put a couple of extensions on my bench so that I can bring the head out like this. Oh, moving things run at the same time. Bring the head out like this, which allows me to have access to the bottom of the head, and top of the head, which will allow me to use my brand new in the package valve spring compressor. Comes with gloves that have a warning on them. Probably says warning, not use on hands. Avoid danger or suffocation. Keep the plastic bag away from babies and children. Now, I don't think there's a baby or child out there with the skills to suffocate me with that plastic bag. But you never know. So we're going to give this a try. I'll give a little video of us doing it here, but I'm not going to record the whole thing. I'm just going to get set up and maybe I'll videotape my blunders. Look, the gloves actually fit. I don't know if these will protect me from a baby with a plastic bag, but I'm going to keep my eye on this plastic bag. If some little baby comes in here and tries to take me out, we're going to throw hands. Alright. So, we'll move this out of the way. We'll bring the tray of goodies over here. We have got a hand lever, a C-clamp, 3 extension screws, 5 pusher adapters, 2 valve lappers. Well, we don't need to lap the valves right now, so won't be using that. The valve lappers don't actually go in this box. They were separate. So, let's see what I can do. I got this part. I don't know if anybody will attack me with this or not, but I'm not taking any chances. Wow, that's exciting. I don't think there's a top or a bottom, really. Just is what it is. Cool. How exciting. We're gonna need the valve springs. Conveniently all located in this reusable bag. Because to stop plastic bags, we've got reusable shopping bags made of polyester, otherwise known as plastic. Here we have our valve springs, which I probably can't get into with these gloves on. Strategic. Brand new valve springs. And we have the old valve springs, which I'm going to compare. Well, it looks like these new ones are a little longer. Not quite as heavy duty. Interesting. What we can see here, that's how thick those ones are. That's how thick these ones are. But they're the ones that Schneider sent us. So I'm going to assume they maybe knew what they were doing. So, we have got these all carefully labeled, numbered, and so on and so forth. And we have the ones that go on the right. And the right hand side was this side. And whatever. So, we'll set everything up here. see just how confused we can get. Get rid of this plastic bag, but I'm keeping my eye on it yet. Okay, and we've got a number 1 for the right, got a number 2 over there. So then this should be a number 2 goes here, and a number 4 goes there. How exciting. And we've also got some gaskets and plugs and stuff. Other stuff. Make sure there's nothing in the bag. Oh God, he's got me! No. Fortunately, I had the gloves on. That was close. Plastic bag still there, though. All right. Number 1 on the right side. Right here. I can get into it. Oily tape. Delicious. And I've got my ring to go on the bottom here. Then I will put a new spring on, like so. And we've got our 2 little retainers. You know what? I do not enjoy these gloves. I don't usually enjoy gloves, period. So I'm going to take these off. Now, some 2-year-old gets a hold of these in that plastic bag, I'm probably done for. But we don't have any 2-year-olds in the near vicinity that I'm aware of, but there is a daycare 1 block over and 1 block up. So, yeah, I'm going to be watching this camera, see anything coming up behind me. All right. So, I think this would be the right size. Looks like the right size to me. So, I don't know if I have a clue what I'm doing. Never been known for having clues. But we're going to put this in here like this. Eventually. That was the longest one or not. That even goes to. That one doesn't have a T end on it. Anyways, put that on there. Now, obviously, it needs to go up against that valve. But I can't imagine you just want to put that bottom up against the valve. Do we have anything else to go up against the valve? We have a clamp, pusher adapters, valve lampers. There is nothing that indicates that it would go up against the valve, except the very bottom of this. Interesting. Well, I'm going to use one of these, put it against this, put it up against the bottom of the valve, because I do not want to damage the valve. And it really, sort of thinking I got to put one in from either end anyways to have enough room, because I'm probably doing it wrong. Feel free to tell me how wrong I'm doing it, and how you do it another way, and all the rest of it. But I'm going to try it. If this works, then you only have to put up with me for another minute or 2. I'll have one done, and then we can just end this part of the video until snap my fingers and it's all done. Or, you know, the kid with a plastic bag takes me out. Which I'm sure is, you know, there's a large cheering section for that possibility. All right. So, once again, I'm going to put a little something on here because I just don't like the idea of having a piece of metal against the valve. And we are going to compress our valve. See how well I'm doing already? That's because I forgot to put that piece on. That's all right. Back that up a little bit. That over there again. Now, up against here. We will put it on this time, just for fun. And now the trick is to get this to come down on there. Very carefully, very carefully, very carefully. Yes, once it gets on there, little pressure, then this part should just stay still. And we should be able to just compress the valve spring. Doesn't that sound simple? Yeah, despite the fact that it's on a ball bearing piece there, it still seems to want to spin. Now we will get our handy dandy lever, and we will continue to spin that piece around. It just wobbles around on there, boys. Does not seem to spin real well, but it is compressing the spring, which is what we want. So we will compress, continuing to compress. Hopefully continue. Whoa, we're sliding off of things here. Come on now. And we will drop a piece on the floor. This is where the kid's going to get me when I bend over for this piece, isn't it? I made it. All right. Back in the chair. Because, despite the fact that it would probably be easier to do this standing up, I'm going to continue to sit. Try to get this to compress this spring. Boys, I tell you, it doesn't really compress it the best as far as I'm concerned, but it's doing the job here. They're compressed down far enough to get those retainer pieces in. We will be all set. I did not bring a magnet or a screwdriver or anything, but I figured, you know what? Why not leave this compressed piece sitting here while I attempt to put these pieces in. All right. Piece number one goes in like that. No, it doesn't. Well, it won't. Doesn't seem to want to anyways. Okay, first we have to get our spring and our valve to line up a little bit. They don't seem to want to do that either. I'll be right back. I'm going to get a screwdriver. Now, with all the skill of a surgeon with no hands, we will see if we can get these pieces to fall into place. There's one. Ooh, he went all the way down in there. Way too far. We may have the spring compressed a little too far. I guess that's a possibility. We will release some tension here. If we could come back up where it's supposed to be. I don't know. I gotta say, this is not the greatest spring compressor in the world. Of course, my brother has a much nicer one there at the machine shop, which would probably be very advantageous right now, but you know, we're not at the machine shop, so I don't know what the child situation is there. Okay, so that doesn't want to come back out. Now we have a retainer stuck. And I dropped it again. So, gonna check these retainers. I believe. Like that? Or do they go on like that? No, they do go on like that. So that retainer is in there properly, actually. The one that I thought was stuck. Which means I now have to get the other one in there, which was sort of what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to get one all the way in and then have to try to get the other one to go in, but we'll see what we can do here. If we can press this far enough, we should be able to completely bugger things up. Now, we've got it down there. Should have brought my reading glasses. I'll be going and getting those before I try another one. Now, if possible, we're going to put this one in here too. Okay, here we go. I said if possible. I say it was possible. It sort of wants to go. It's almost there. So we're going to compress this a little more. Try to compress this a little more. I'm having fun. Probably would have went the first time I wore the gloves. You know what? Compressing means going clockwise. I'm sure somebody caught that before I did. Oh, falling off the edge. Careful. Now back to our screwdriver and our regularly scheduled programming. Imagine how well this would go if I knew what I was doing. Okay. We'll tighten just a little more, see if everything will fall down into place like it's supposed to. They look like they're in there. Sort of. Oh yes. So now as we loosen this off, this should all come together as it's supposed to. Sure. Notice my enthusiasm and complete and utter confidence. Well, would you look at that? You can't look at that. You can't see it from there. You don't see any babies or kids, do you? Very concerned about being suffocated. All right. I think we've done it. We'll flip things around here. Maybe we'll flip things around if I figured out how to. How do you flip this thing around? Right. So there you have it. It looked retained to me. Flies off and hits me in the face here. And we'll flip this up just to make sure. We made no mark on our valve, as near as I could tell. A little white spot there. That was just from that foam. So we appear to have the first valve spring retainer in place. Wonderbar. Okay, overhead video this time. Yeah. We'll put the last one on here, see if I've got any better at it than I did the first one. I ripped the hole in the bag, so I'm not worried about babies, children taking me out with that anymore. If they don't have a plastic bag, I think I'm probably safe. Still should be on my guard though. Okay, we've got the seat on, spring on. We will take a retainer and drop it. Because that helps. Yeah. And we found both of them. So now that we've dropped that, see, live right here, nothing edited. Put the retainer on, our two keepers in there. Now, I've seen some people seem to want to put those in afterwards. I don't know why, but they do, and that's totally up to them. Probably so they don't drop them like I just did. Get that positioned in place. We'll tighten down our depressor here, because we're in such a good mood. Too good a mood, we need to be depressed a bit. And of course, it doesn't want to sit on there exactly right, but that's okay. Get a little tension on it. Start there. Keep her from slipping off completely. There we go. Now we'll tighten her down. And these stay right in. Now they'll get pushed up a little bit. One will go down by the valve. You probably can't see real good from that far away, but push her on here a little bit more. I'm just going to put my finger up there and hold that one as I tighten it down. One of them slipped down in, the other one always seems to want to come up because, well, they're bigger than the hole, so they can actually get pushed out. But as this gets pushed down, I'll just keep that in there till it slips down by. And of course, got to keep straightening this thing up because it doesn't seem to have the best guided system on it. But It's working. Keep a little pressure on things just to make sure they both fall down in there. As we compress the spring further. Almost. There it goes. Falls into place. Now we just release this back off. Everything comes up into place. Clickety, clackety, bangety, whackety. And we're done. There we have it. Springs installed. Ooh. I have 3D. Ooh. Anybody that used to watch SCTV? I am not John Candy. So those are done. Now it's just a matter of installing the camshaft and the rocker assembly. So we're going to get on to that. Okay, we'll just update things here quickly. We got the camshaft in there. They send this cam lube, break-in lube stuff. Let me tell you, this is some mighty stuff, this is. How do you get it around here? Schneider's cam lube. Extreme pressure, all right. They found a way to make Vaseline thicker. I tell you, I think they had about cornstarch to it or something. It's like trying to... Yeah, I managed to get the camshaft and all the journals and the followers and the tops of the valves and everything are all tickety-boo here. So I'm going to slack off all the valves, adjusters, and then we're going to tighten everything down. Put the end seal in here. I can tell it's sort of been gooed up before maybe and whatnot. So we've got her in there the way I believe it goes. We put a little bit, I have a thing, so I end up using a little bit of my aircraft sealant stuff there, aircraft gasket maker sealant stuff. That sort of acts as lubricant anyway, so we put a little of that in there. And we're going to tighten things down, make sure nothing pinches that seal. And everything gets torqued down properly. And then we'll come back, show you the finished project. One other little thing here is our exhaust recirculation passage, which we don't use anymore anyways. We drilled and tapped it. Yeah, it was sort of an interesting process. Had to go with two separate plugs. Put one plug in, then drill through it, and put another plug in. But anyways, she's sealed up there now, so we won't have to worry about anything from that. All right, we will return here momentarily. Well, we got the things put together we could put together, more or less. There's always more stuff. But we got the camshaft in, and we still haven't quite figured out exactly what we're going to do about the fact that everything's going to be retarded about 4 degrees and all that kind of stuff. But we got a couple ideas. We'll have to discuss with my brother there at the machine shop, and we'll come up with something. I know I'm cheating. I just set the valve cover on, the timing chain cover and whatnot, intake manifold with a couple of bolts, just to get a look at this beautiful gem here. This is quite a prize unit. She's gonna look magnificent, or look something. Anyways, and you look good enough, you don't have to worry about going fast. Sure. Not too much chance of me looking good enough. If I go fast enough, they might not see me. That'd probably be my best benefit right there. But I just figured I'd, waiting for parts and frustrations and work and whatnot, I just figured I'd give myself a little preview. Thought you guys might like a little preview too.